This man was supposed to be the real-life version of Tony Stark. He was supposed to be the direction the world needed. A billionaire who used his money for good.
When people have a product like this, I'm sure that they don't intend on burning anyone or anything.
A leader in cutting-edge and innovative technology.
They say they barely made it out alive before the car exploded.
A larger-than-life figure whose direction would help guide humanity across the solar system.
When do you think SpaceX will land a human being on Mars?
Best case is about 5 years, worst case 10 years.
What we ended up with feels like nothing more than a petulant child.
Musk changed his Twitter bio to Chief Twit and showed up at Twitter headquarters carrying a sink.
It feels like Elon Musk is just like scrambling, making it up as he goes along. People will abandon what they say is a principle when things aren't going their way.
A man so desperate for the acceptance of social media masses that he seems willing to potentially bankrupt himself and his companies in the process.
Just because he wanted to be the guy who owns Twitter.
Though it didn't always seem like this. The date is June 4th, 2010. Elon Musk joins the mass migration of users arriving onto the hip new social media platform meant to update friends on your daily routine. It started relatively harmless, used simply as a way to verify his social presence. Occasionally, we'd see a tweet regarding one of his companies or a discussion about AI, topics for a niche audience. Boring to most, but that's exactly what you would expect from a genius billionaire philanthropist, a lack of insight into his true self. This closed entry into their life or thoughts is what creates the mystique around billionaires. He was unreachable to the public eye. He seemed to have his head down, focused solely on pushing humanity towards a progressive future. And boy, did we eat it up.
You've got your finger in so many different advanced technologies. Are you sincerely trying to save the world?
Well, I'm trying to do good things, yeah.
Elon had everything investors wanted in a leader: an assuring confidence, a clear routine of self-care, ambitious dreams for the future. Even better was his prior experience and an abundance of funding. For most people, this perception held over years. The left, though bothered by his ideas of hoarding wealth, were intrigued by what was essentially one of the only billionaires spreading environmental awareness. The right, enthralled by his business-savvy attitude and stern stance on free speech. He was the billionaire average people felt like they could root for and relate to. Then, after close to a decade of online presence, the cracks started to show.
Tesla fell sharply Monday after the company's CEO Elon Musk accused an organizer of the Thai cave rescue of being a pedophile.
Elon grew far more engaged in online discourse, going from tweeting just 42 times in 2011 to over 2,000 times in 2018. His follower count would grow accordingly alongside his Twitter usage, reaching 25 million followers in under a decade on the platform. With this increase in audience came incentive to continue, but it wasn't just good faith arguments or warnings about AI. He seemed to grow increasingly confrontational, adopting the snarky millennial attitude that Twitter has a habit of instilling in its users. This, and a somewhat poor attempt at humor.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has taken the stand in that federal trial over his 2018 tweets about taking the company private.
When Elon Musk said funding secured, did he have indeed funding secured?
But he wasn't satisfied with just becoming an edgy meme lord. It wasn't cool enough. He needed something more.
Smoking what podcast host Joe Rogan said was a marijuana and tobacco joint is just the newest controversy for Elon Musk.
And people absolutely freaked out.
Tesla's stock has taken a hit after the company's CEO, Elon Musk, took a different kind of hit.
Very sad case of a genius who thinks he's a prophet.
Erratic, unstable, reckless.
Elon isn't exactly the stoner type, but for the appeasement of Joe Rogan, he was comfortable changing his behavior, even at the expense of his investors. This is where Elon really began leaning into his role as the symbolic CEO of memes, posting with a humor similar to that of a teenager from 2010. I mean, bad luck Brian level stuff here, but there was a plus side. Once the initial shock of it wore away, the market would grow desensitized to his actions. He could be the unpredictable cool kid he'd always dreamed of being, with little repercussion. Try this with any other tech CEO and they'll almost certainly be removed. But Elon was able to post his way to a more honest version of himself, one not shackled by the behavior standards of corporate America. The only side of him he'd be reserved in showing were his politics. But then, the pandemic happened.
There's a lot of attention now being paid to Tesla CEO Elon Musk, calling workers back to his California Tesla factory, defying local health orders.
The extension of the shelter-in-place, or frankly I would call it forcibly imprisoning people in their homes against all their constitutional rights.
You know, you're talking a lot about saving humanity, but these are humans that die in the process.
Everybody dies.
distrust in the media, science, and even spats with other billionaires. This is where the rift begins, with one side viewing him as a brave advocate of personal freedom, and the other side seeing him as nothing more than a selfish, out-of-touch elite. Simultaneously, markets across the world were cratering. There was a saving grace here, the effects of which we'd be dealing with only a short couple of years later. Trillions began pumping into the economy. The market had begun a complete U-turn. Damn near everything, and I mean everything, was pumping. Speculations about the advancement of tech were extremely high. Once laughed at, investors like Cathie Wood were now outperforming her colleagues across the board, leaving her to have the last laugh. Her biggest position? Tesla, along with an unshakable belief in the leadership of Elon Musk. The stock would go on to see an 800% return in 2020, compared to the S&P's meager yet respectable 18%. Tesla became a must-have for your portfolio, eventually reaching a $1 trillion market cap by the fall of 2021. This boom would create unwavering loyalty among his fans. Finance bros and blue-collar workers alike would join forces under their god. The euphoria was unparalleled. But Elon seemingly wasn't satisfied with the attention. He wanted to be hip alongside the masses who perhaps weren't involved in finance. An unexpected event would catch his eye.
Video game retailer GameStop is set to continue their head-spinning ascent today. Shares are now up more than 60% pre-market amid an ongoing battle between bullish day traders and hedge fund short sellers.
But why stop there? Stocks weren't the only market booming in funding. The crypto market was seeing its own renaissance. Bitcoin and Ethereum were trending towards new highs, and adoption was skyrocketing. There was, however, an underdog of the group, a crypto made solely as a joke, with the Shiba printed on its image. Dogecoin was the laughing stock of the crypto world, but where most people saw a useless form of currency, Elon saw a potential for memeability.
What would be the most ironic outcome? That the currency that was invented as a joke, in fact, becomes the real currency.
It was all fun and games on the way up. The masses joined in.
It's the cryptocurrency that set the internet on fire and captured the attention of everyone from Snoop Dogg to Guy Fieri.
Just kind of kept going, and I was shocked to say the least.
Everyone wanted a piece of the Dogecoin pie, prompting apps like Robinhood to halt trading. Our meme lord was guiding the masses towards financial freedom, or so we thought. What they don't tell you is that eventually, the music stops. And for every dollar made, there's a dollar lost. What you're left with are a mass of bag holders, coping with the idea that the party's over and they missed their chance to take profits. As of now, crypto hasn't recovered since its crash in early 2022, and Dogecoin is a fraction of its 73-cent high. But how did this affect Elon? Aside from a few frivolous lawsuits and the threat of the SEC, it didn't, and here lies the problem. Elon's tweets could move markets, and he wasn't shy about doing so. Dogecoin became his movement. He became their symbolic leader, the man that was supposed to spearhead the next BTC through this meme coin of all things. What seemed like nothing more than jokes to him had severe repercussions across the board.
You've seen the kind of carnage that has been happening in cryptocurrencies at the moment. Do you still think people should invest?
Well, I have never said that people should invest in crypto.
When Elon Musk tweets, the world listens, especially the crypto world when it has to do with a cryptocurrency.
So what's next? Memeing isn't working like it used to, the euphoria is long gone, and criticism towards his character is at an all-time high. Elon couldn't emotionally handle the waves of online bullying. There was only one rational choice.
The deal is done. Twitter has been sold to Elon Musk.
What he wasn't expecting was the purchase of a nightmare.
The company's chief executive is reported to be among a number of senior figures who've already been fired.
Musk says his workload has grown since taking over Twitter. The Wall Street Journal reporting Musk has trouble sleeping at night and has severe back pain.
CEO Elon Musk cashed out more than $3.5 billion in shares.
He's using Tesla as an ATM to fund Twitter.
In a filing with the SEC, Elon stated, "I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy." Now, you're probably wondering how well this approach held up, and unfortunately, it's a little complicated.
First of all, lies on the internet move faster than the truth, and that's in part why there are all these safeguards that Elon Musk is trying to take down on Twitter right now.
What did you do
do that was so bad, Tony?
We reported on Elon Musk.
While seemingly justified in his safety concerns, a lot of Elon's rationale seemed like nothing more than lashing out at bad press, even going as far as to change the terms of service on the fly to accommodate his arbitrary new rules. The problem was, these were so broad that a number of accounts would get caught in the net of new policies. It seemed like a ban first, ask questions later sort of thing. Harsh rules for someone who had trouble following his own guidelines.
The attack on Paul Pelosi is being wildly discussed on social media.
Elon Musk tweeted and then deleted a link to an unfounded conspiracy theory.
Who's to stop him anyhow? It's his website. He can do essentially what he wants. $44 billion seems like quite the price tag for controlling the narrative. You'd hope someone so vehemently against censorship, so outspoken regarding free speech, would hold himself to the same standard he holds everyone else. For Elon, this pursuit of acceptance has formed an incredibly dark cloud over his life. But if you ask the average person, they've saved no tears for the struggles of a billionaire.